Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of GIRLZ Garage. In case you missed it, Madison's over here turning up to the new intro. Everybody, throw your hands up. Woo woo!
All right, guys, nice to see everybody here again. It's been a minute for me. I apologize. The music chick over here. We have our special guest, Miss Tiana. Do you want to go ahead?
Hello. Hey guys. Basically, I am a drifter. I'm a business owner. I'm a graphic designer, livery designer, and I'm sure we're going to get into this in the podcast. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys.
Awesome, and we haven't seen her in a while, but we have Miss Bumbi down here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bumbi. I've been a little caught up with my drifting as well, so it's nice to see you guys again.
Awesome, and then we have over here we have Miss Rachel, aka Miss Boosted.
Hey, I was just here last week, so I don't have anything exciting.
Because she's on it. She's a little bit more accountable. Show a quick shout out to our sponsors. We have GripTad, Simtec Motorsports. We have ZOCIETY, and then we have Donuts and Wheels. They are all awesome and make all this possible. Go ahead and get started. Tiana, I know you're a business owner and you're into drifting, but go ahead and tell us about some of your cars, because those are extremely unique.
Okay, so I don't know where to start. Which one? Which one do we want to start with? Are we starting with the daily driver, or are we starting with? Okay, let's start with.
We'll start with the daily.
Sure. So I was actually chatting with the girls earlier, but I'm going to tell you guys all what is going on with my current 180SX Type X. It was imported from Japan in 2018, and I am the first owner of this car in Australia. So I had the opportunity to purchase it almost fresh, I feel. I feel like it's been unmolested too. Well, initially it was unmolested until I got my hands on it. Now it's molested. I'm sorry. A lot of people are going to hate me for that.
No,
but a lot of people are going to hate me. Why did you mess with the Type X? A beautiful, clean 180SX Type X. Anyway, it came with 4-stud. I had to change it to 5-stud. I loved my Desmond Rager Master wheels that I had, because I actually came from a Honda background. So I had them laying around and I was like, I love them so much. I need to put them on my Type X. So I changed them to 5-stud wheels, and it hasn't all been like roses. I'm not going to lie. If you guys know anything about SR20s, you'll know that they are super unreliable. They waste your money all the time. They always break. And yeah, they're just super pain in the ass, really. So basically from the beginning, I've had constant issues. I've probably pulled out the motor now 5 times, but now we have finally gotten to a point where I've done everything inside the motor, like literally everything, top to bottom. So there is very, very low risk now of anything going wrong after 5 times of trying to rebuild a motor. But yeah, so basically I've just done forged internals and just stage 2 cams, and bigger turbo, Garrett 2868 high mount, and just basic mods. Like, I'm not going to say like it's anything like crazy. I was just going for reliable. I didn't care about power. I was like, whatever, if it's slow, it's slow. It's a Type X, whatever. Like, I don't really care. But yeah, the purpose of that car was just to enjoy it on a Sunday drive, and I didn't lower it. Like, it's fully unrolled guards. Like, I've literally left it on stock suspension, so I could just take it on like long mountain roads and just drive it. Like, that's not purposely built for drifting. That is just built for like going to grab a coffee on a Sunday morning. So that's one of the cars. That's one baby, one of my child.
What are the children? Do you have a name for that one?
Mia.
Oh,
Mia is her name.
Cute.
Yeah, and the reason that I named her Mia is because the camera, it's really strange. I know this is such a strange story, but I'm going to tell you guys. So the camera that I'm using right now is a Sony A7R Mark II. And just before I bought while I was waiting for my Type X to come and get delivered from South Australia and Adelaide, this actually, when I was unboxing it, the lens, this came from Japan. So the lens, when you actually took it out of the box, it had like a little like a little paper, and it said like inspected by S. Miyazaki. And I was like, that is so cute. I was like, they hand wrote it. And I was like, oh, I was like, I have to like basically just name it Mia. I was like, Mia is so cute, like Miyazaki. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna name my car Miyazaki. So that's how she got Mia. So
Aww.
That
I
is
love
Such a
that.
good story.
it's
That's
really
really cool.
cute and sentimental with it. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So
love that.
then I've got the second one.
That sounded so sad.
It is sad because
Exciting.
they were both SRs. That's why it's sad. It's sad and expensive. The last 4 years, guys, I don't know about you guys, but Migarang noodles has been like the primary diet of a drifter with an SR. So I'm pretty sure you guys
Yes.
know about that. So yeah, so I've got a second 180SX, and I bought that about a year after purchasing my 180SX Type X Mia. And this one is named Nori. So when I refer to the cars, I'll be referring to Mia as the Type X, the white Type X, the clean one. And then Nori is like actually stands for seaweed in Japanese.
Oh,
So
that's
it's like
cute.
the reason why is because his paint was super flaky and he looked like Nori. So like when I was eating sushi, I was like, I want to name my car Nori because the car looks so rough and crap. I was like, oh, yeah. So that's how Nori came about. So Mia is clean and Nori is just like junk, pretty much. Yeah, poor Nori. Yeah. So basically, yeah, that is my drift car. And I purposely bought that to drift, so I didn't care what it looked like at the beginning. I practiced in it until I got to a level where I was like pretty happy, and then I blew up the motor. Well, kind of blew up the motor, not really. It was just a cracked piston, and decided to strip it and go ahead with my dream swap, which is a Honda swapped Nissan. So I'm doing a K24 engine boosted in my 180SX, and it's consuming all of my money. But it's a good swap. It's
That's
really cool.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
I feel like that swap is like coming up here in the US too. There's a lot of people that are doing that swap in a lot of different drift cars, but it is expensive.
Yes, it is very expensive. Well, it's expensive for me because I live down under in Australia, as you guys know. So getting things here is pretty hard. And also the dollar in Australia right now is very weak. So to purchase something, it's honestly like super pricey. Like for you guys, I think it's like 4,000 for the swap kit with the ZF transmission, the BMW transmission. And for me to purchase something, it cost me double. So
Oh my
yeah.
God. To get it imported?
Yeah, so I have to get it here because I got to pay tax as well as shipping, and tax and shipping alone was like 1,300 Australian.
Oh my God.
That's
crazy.
No.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of challenges, and like you were saying, Bumbi, like having like sponsors, because we were chatting earlier, having sponsors on board has been a massive help. So again, like I want to shout out to all of my sponsors as well for assisting me with the build. I've got like a fabrication company that is named Shembri Custom Shop, and they're doing all my roll cage and all of the exhausts and the intake and everything like that, and making the engine fit and making it all work. And I've got a couple of other sponsors on board, like Australian Drift Club and Tarmac Apparel. So there's a couple people who have been helping out, which is great.
That is super awesome. Yeah, you're totally good to go up on that and talk about that, because we like to plug. So go ahead and plug your pages and stuff as well, if you would like.
Well, I think once we get into the business side of things, I'll explain the business. I'll plug the businesses, but for now,
That's fair.
Let's just roll with the ones that we've basically already spoken about.
Yep, that works.
Yeah.
Fabricators are lifesavers. Absolutely.
Big time.
Yes.
I feel like that's like such a huge cost to like when you're doing a swap, especially.
Yeah, it is massive. And like, I mean, you can try and do it yourself, but at the same point in time, like you're going to be spending the same amount in time because your time is also worth money, right? So you also got to account for that. So if you're sitting there and like, you know what, I'm going to learn myself, like that might be a skill that you have forever. However, like it might take you like quadruple the time. And is that time that you also have? Is that time and money that you have? You know what I mean? So you got to like weigh up your options. That's why I just decided I'm just going to leave the fabrication to everybody else. I'll like do the mechanical myself and everything else that I can do, which I have been doing so far. And I guess, yeah, we'll just see how it goes.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick. Speaking of, sponsors and people who are taking care of us, one more thing that I wanted to shout out to is to check out, like, the page of the week is going to be the 240SX lovers on Instagram. They're bringing S chassis enthusiasts together. So all of us Datsun people over here. So go check them out. You'll find the link in their page in the description. And, just say that GT Girls Garage sent you over and said, what up?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. So basically, yeah,
Tell us.
that's Nori. Nori is
really
almost ready. Oh gosh, I wish we had 240SXs here. I've never seen. Actually, I lied. I was about to say I've never seen a 240SX, but I saw one in Canada.
Oh, they're so awesome.
They are very cool. Those are kind of like the main, I would say, drift car out here. And like M3s. A lot of M3s.
Okay.
And then the 300s or like the 350Z and 370Zs are pretty big out here too.
Yeah.
VQs and their trumpet noises. If you ever come to the US and you go to a drift event, yes. Everybody knows. It's not a secret. They're terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good motors, but they sound like this. My boyfriend has one, so I can talk bad about it.
Honestly, I completely agree that they use the thrashers because here as well they also do the same thing. But I mean, you can't beat on a thrasher. Like, I mean, you can't like talk crap about them because at the end of the day, like people like use them to put them in walls and not care, and parts are cheap. And even though they're annoying as hell, I can relate. I get that. But like, I mean, people have reasons to purchase certain things, and building, say, like a 180SX here is super expensive now. So like not many people have the opportunity to spend like 30 grand on the car itself and then to go like put drift modifications on it anymore. So so people are moving towards E36s as well. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, we have a lot of those here too. A lot of and there's a lot of cool swaps for E36s, like LS swaps. They're like really affordable on those chassis.
Well, and they just fit well. Yeah. And just the parts are so cheap to get. So like upkeeping those is and LS is truly the smart move when doing an engine swap, but I would SR20 swap before I LS swapped.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you.
I'm not as big into LS. It would be cool. Bumbi, speaking of drifting, like, do you guys want to talk about like the differences between drifting between the US and Australia? Because I haven't even seen many drift events in Australia, but I know that's a pretty tight-knit community out there as well.
Yes. So actually in Australia, I feel as though that our series is pretty small. So actually one of our highest series is high-tech drifting.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah. So basically, we don't have like a Formula Drift or like a D1 Grand Prix or anything like that. That's more so like New Zealand, and the drivers in New Zealand are pretty like crazy. Like the drivers here in Australia are really cool, but like it's like we don't have the opportunity to grow like internationally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and plus we're like an island in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. So like we don't have the same resources just to drive to another country.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's a little bit restrictive in that way. And also, like, lately they've been cracking down on like tracks, especially with noise. Like, I don't know if you guys have that, but like, I don't know what is with, like, I don't know what is with Australia right now, but everywhere in New South Wales, and New South Wales is like one of the most popular states in Australia. It's similar to like California for you guys. Like, they've just literally, like, every single track is starting to have beef with us, like drifters, and we're just like, like, what's your problem? Like, we don't get it. Like, we've only got like maybe 2 or 3 tracks we can actually go to, and one is in Sydney, and the other 2 are like super far away. So it's like, you know what I mean? We don't have choice. Yeah, they're making it hard for us. But there are a lot of good drivers here. There are a lot of competitive drivers here. There are a lot of Australian drivers that have gone overseas to compete internationally and take their cars, etc. But, you know, I guess that's probably the main difference, is the fact that we're starting to get like super limited, and I guess a lot of people are feeling as though they can't go to the track. So what else are you meant to do? Straight drift, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't straight drift myself because my sponsors wouldn't like that, but a lot of people do. So
we call that going to Mexico in the States.
Is that what you actually call it?
Yeah, if ever someone says they're going to Mexico, that's basically what they're talking about.
Oh my God, I've never heard of that.
It's great.
Going to Mexico. I'm going to start that here.
You should.
You should.
That would be awesome. International slang.
No one would get it except for everyone in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's going to be the new thing. All right, I'll make sure I tell everyone to switch up. Oh God,
that's awesome. But no, I feel you with the noise complaints here too. Like, I live 2 minutes from Orlando Speed World, and now they're starting to give us like a lot of crap for the track, and it's like the track's been here since like I think the 60s. And like people are starting to move around here, and everybody's like, oh, you know, that in my neighborhood everybody races, so nobody cares. But the neighborhoods around on the other side, they're like noise complaints, and we're like, oh my God.
It's because of housing.
Yes.
It's housing. Yeah.
But I agree with the tracks not liking drifters, because we were hosting competitions at a track, and they didn't allow us to do it anymore because of dirt dropping. And so the track has to pay to, you know, repair the dirt drops, because, you know, you get like really bad dips. And so they're like, well, we don't like you guys anymore, so goodbye. And we're like, no, let us drive. Yes. But we're a little luckier because the US is so huge, and so we can just travel. And people are crazy here in the US. I mean, when I first moved here, I heard people saying, oh yeah, we're just going to do a 20-hour drive. And I'm like, what? 20 hours? It's wild. People are just like, it's just passion. They're like, yeah, we're driving 20 hours to drive.
But I guess like it's worth it.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's worth it if, like, say for instance, you're going to do like a whole weekend away and like do like a big drift thing and experience a new thing. Because what I realized with the US, I don't know if you realize this as well, but like every state to state is like completely different. It's like a new world every time you go to a new state. It's so strange. Like, whereas in Australia, you kind of like go to the next state, it's sort of similar, but like different-ish. But like with the US, it's like a different world in a new state.
Yes. That's very true.
It is strange.
Yeah,
It's
Australia's
almost
like a gradient of dirt and desert for the most
pretty
part.
much. And kangaroos, right? And kangaroos.
Spiders.
Yeah.
The spiders. I can't.
Stereotypes.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
I can't do the spiders.
The spiders are not really that bad, I promise.
Really? Oh.
I promise it's not bad.
Okay.
Like, I think a lot of people just like talk it up and say that there's lots of snakes and spiders, but like I haven't even seen a snake for like, wow, how many years now? Like 15, something like that.
Oh wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's just how you guys keep like us tourists out. They're like, there's really bad spiders, and then like we don't come visit.
That's how they keep us from moving there, because you go visit and you fall in love with it, but then you're like, man, but I'm shocked my trip. I must have been so lucky I didn't see anything.
Yeah, exactly.
I see you. I see you, Australians.
I think that's actually true. I think they actually try to keep people out a little, in a way. I mean, we've only got 25 million people. You guys have 330 million people in the US.
Wow.
And you guys are only 30% bigger in terms of land size.
Yeah, we're a little maybe overpopulated.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're underpopulated.
No.
Maybe that's the problem.
I say some of our cities are highly overpopulated.
Oh God.
But
LA is definitely, I think that's like got
LA,
25 million
New York.
people in that city. So
New York,
and that's like our entire population.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The US is an interesting country.
It is.
I'm definitely keen on visiting. Hopefully when the situation dies down a little. But I want to definitely visit, and I'll probably be hanging around maybe the Bay Area, Sacramento, maybe. Probably around that way. Because I know that there's a lot of drifting things happening around there. And I definitely wanted to purchase a car over there as well and like drift it. Like, so I don't have to like bring my car.
And
like leave it there and come back.
Drift. There you go.
Yeah,
There's a lot of places that rent drift cars too, so you can rent.
Like, I couldn't rent because I can't. Like, I can drive it the same, but I just would feel better if I put my own car into a wall.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. No responsibility to have to,
Exactly, and I can just like leave it at my friend's shop and be like, pack it away for a little bit.
Just keep it there for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you get if you came to what would be your car here?
Definitely a Zenki S14. Like there is nothing in my body that will want anything else. Like a Zenki S14 is the next love of my life, I reckon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
I've been dying for one. What about you girls? What if you came to Australia? What would you buy?
Everything.
Yeah, all of it. There's no limitation. I would own everything ever. Like a left-hand drive, like NSX. Cool. I would totally have one of those. Or those what are those Australian trucks? The little like the mini trucks. Yeah. I want a Ute. I want a Ute.
A mini truck. So what you call it? Oh. Yeah, so mini truck, because we don't use trucks here. Like even like the things that you guys consider trucks, we still call them utes. We just call everything a ute. And then like a truck is like, what do you guys call them? Do you guys call them 18-wheelers or something?
Like the semis, yeah, those are 18-wheelers.
Yeah, we just call them like trucks, like that's trucks.
Oh, that's funny.
What's the Australian ute though? And it's got the closed trunk. I don't even know if it's counted as a ute. I'm not. I saw one on TV once, and I was like, I want it. And it's got a kangaroo on the logo, I think, kind of like a Ferrari, but not.
Oh, you mean like a Holden?
Yes, thank you. That's what I want. That's what I would have.
But you guys have them there. You guys have what is it? General Motors or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pontiac? Is that what they call it? Pontiacs?
No, I don't think we have those here in States.
Mm-mm.
I don't even know, but like I'm pretty sure you guys have like Holdens, but like the US version, and then the UK has like Holdens, but I think they're called Vauxhalls.
Huh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
it's really strange.
Things are not.
Yeah, Australia used to manufacture Holdens, but I think as of like the last couple of years, they actually stopped in Australia manufacturing all cars. So now we have no more Holdens anymore. Now Holdens have pretty much skyrocketed in price as well. So like I think one of our utes, our like performance utes, have gone up to like, I don't know, 1 point something million, like one for the special edition. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Because they're not making them anymore. Now they're collectors' cars.
And it's not like they made many like to begin with.
They made so many. Yeah, they made so many like Holdens over the last years. But
that's wild.
That's the way it is. Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So was that just like a country like ban on building or manufacturing vehicles, or what kind of led to that?
I don't think it was a ban. I just think like Australia I don't know. It was just weird. Maybe there was some sort of reasoning behind it, but ultimately, like, we just saw people lose like jobs, and we were just like, well, why are you guys stopping manufacturing them? Like, it's silly. But I think the logic in the method to their madness is like, oh, well, you know, we can just import cars. It's so much easier just to import like something that's already established and made and whatever than it is to kind of like manufacture our own cars for such a small demographic of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas back in the day, like, you got to also remember, like, back in the early days when like people just settled in Australia, there probably wasn't the technology to be able to like even get the car to another country. But now we have like means of getting cars to different countries, etc. And they probably just found that there's no point of manufacturing cars here anymore, since there's easier ways, I guess.
The shipping.
Yeah, maybe it's cheaper. Maybe it's cheaper labor overseas, even. You know, who knows?
Well, I mean, you know, American-made vehicles are not really made in America that much.
Exactly right. So
that's why we got a chip shortage.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. So yeah.
I have a question for you because I'm very curious. Because I've been following Australian drifting for a little bit through like one of the girls that drifts up there. And I was really curious as to like, so you know how like here in the US our most commonly used drift cars are like E36s and like 350Zs. So what are the most used cars in Australia?
Okay. So I'm about to contradict myself. So we have Fords here as well. So Fords and Holdens are very like Aussie cars, because they used to manufacture them here. There's a lot of older Fords here and a lot of older Holdens here. So they're like, we call them bush bashers. What do you guys call them? Beaters?
Yes.
Beaters? We call them bush
I like that.
I love that.
So you're going to use Mexico and we're going to start using Yes. I love it.
We'll start swapping phrases, I think. So basically a lot of drifters just like, if they can't afford to purchase like an S chassis, or if they, I guess, just want to have like their nice car and then they just want like something to just throw into another car and not care, like, you know what I mean? They will buy a Ford or a Holden, but they will buy the really old V6s, manual, like very, it's not like even classic. It's like more of like the ones that are like maybe made in like the 2000 era, maybe a little bit earlier, and they're just like rust buckets. You can get them for like maybe $500, maybe $1,000, and they've just been sitting like on the farm or something, like, and just like pick them up and just like drift them, and they're fine. And some people put like LSs or Barrows in them, just like quickly, you know what I mean? Because like they're made for that. Or they'll even just buy one with a Barrow or an LS in it, and they'll just go drift it. As long as it's manual, they don't care.
That is awesome.
Yeah, but a lot of people, if they don't mind spending a little bit more money, they will buy an E36 these days or a 350Z, just like you guys.
Yeah. So those are considered more expensive than the Holdens?
Yes, they are. So 350Zs at the moment probably sit around the, I'd say, 14,000 Australian dollar mark.
Oh my God.
And
wow.
Just remember, our dollar is really weak at the moment, guys. So like if you convert it, you'll probably be like, that makes sense. Don't be scared by the numbers.
I'm about to convert it. I'm curious. That sounds like a lot.
It sounds like a lot, but it's not. Well, it is, but it isn't in a way. So they use those, and also like R31 Skylines, and you guys don't get R31s, I don't think, right?
I think no, I don't think that's it. Really, the R32s and R33s are kind of and then the new, obviously, Skylines.
So a lot of people like drifting like R31 Skylines, and they're still kind of like a relatively good price at the moment. So I think they come with like a naturally aspirated RB30, and they're still around maybe the, I think they're around the 6,000-7,000 now. Maybe I'd say about 6,000, but like maybe about 2 years ago they were still around $3,000.
That is nothing. Oh my god.
Nada. If getting that out here would be 50.
Too much.
Probably around 50K, I would say.
Yeah.
Really?
Wild.
Gosh, I should start a business exporting them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You would make so much money exporting cars to here.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it's insane.
Yeah, I know a couple people who do it. They exported Supras actually to the USA and they made a killing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Supras here are ridiculous right now. They're like in the
they
50,
killed it.
60,000.
That's
It's
insane.
ridiculous.
What's your R34 GDRs go for, if you don't mind me asking?
I think maybe 30.
We're all like, I haven't looked at one
Like,
of those in
oh,
a minute.
R34s?
It's not very common to see one for sale.
Yeah, I haven't seen one for sale ever. Probably around 50 to 80K.
Yeah.
80?
Oh god,
You're gonna be
those are up.
probably
Yeah,
by
damn.
the time.
Yeah, it's probably around the same price here, actually, probably more, to be honest, as
absolutely
well.
nuts.
Yeah. So we got to get some tandems on when I'm in the US. I think. You guys?
Let's all do it.
That'd be
Every single one of us.
awesome.
Rachel,
We
you
get some
down?
tandems on.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be cool.
crazy though. That's crazy that like hearing about the differences because I know like Z's in Italy are like 50 grand to buy, 50,000 US. It's ridiculous. It's wild to see like the different cars that are used like in Australia and like the US and like the price differences. It's wild.
Yeah. So in Italy, can you what's the scene like over there? Is it actually like a JDM scene at all?
Oh god, no. They use E36s and that's about it.
They use E36s?
They use BMWs. They use a lot of Mercedes, like old school Mercedes. And what else? That's about it. There's some 240s, but 240s are like 20, 30 grand to buy a stock one. So nobody really runs them. And Z's are like 50. I mean, I saw only one in Italy recently and it was like 50 grand. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. For 350, 50 grand is insane.
Is there a demand for it though?
Not really. Not in Italy. Not a lot of people care. Like they're more into Formula One and Italian. It's part of the culture, so they care a lot about like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. or rally. There's a lot of the rallying, so a lot of Fiats.
I do like rally.
Yeah,
Yes.
rally is cool. Hey.
It is.
I think Rachel
Rally's
would
the
probably
best.
only be the only one to have something that we could rally. What do you think,
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Yeah. I've driven. Well, actually, I used to own. I had 2 Evos at one point. So I had an Evo 8 MR, and I had a Evo 8, just like a standard GSR. And I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know. I wasn't really a massive fan of the all-wheel drive thing. I kind of like either front-wheel drive or like rear-wheel drive, I guess. I don't know. Like I like the idea of rally and like the jumps and the, going around corners, you still have the hydro and everything. I think that's really cool. But I think ultimately, all drives are just, I feel like they limit you with excitement a little, in a way. I don't like sticking to the floor.
That is such a drifter thing to say.
Yes.
All right, you just gotta send it sideways.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Speed, just gun it.
I don't want to have control.
Yeah. Have you guys ever gone to the go-kart track and driven a go-kart and been like, I'm sideways the whole way?
Yes.
And you're just like, I can do a faster lap if I'm sideways. Yeah.
Especially in the wet. Oh my god,
Yeah.
go-karts in the wet are the funnest thing ever.
Yeah. Have you heard the story of some guy going down the mountain with the noodles and he was drifting down the mountain to get there faster in the snow?
No.
Yeah, it's something in Japan, and they're like, that's how drifting started. I don't know, it's like one of those little stories, storytelling.
It's a beautiful story.
It kind of fits in because now
Noodles and drifting is
drifters,
perfect.
yeah, right. So now we have to eat noodles to survive in drifting. It makes sense.
Makes sense. It does.
It's all connected through the universe.
Somehow. So actually, I wanted to ask you girls, like, what do you do for work?
I don't know who wants to start that. I can. Do you want me to start it?
Yes.
I'll start it. So I just left being a real estate or not a real estate, an insurance agent, and I'm a real estate agent. I do inside sales.
Ooh, fancy, nice.
To support my insane addictions and massive vehicle loads.
That's such a good job to have right now too.
Of course.
It's insane. Oh my
God. The housing market is crazy right now.
It is. It for sure is. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So what else?
Bumbi, what do you
do? I'm currently doing my PhD.
Ooh.
And because I am an international student, I can only work at the university. So I teach.
Snap! She's a teacher. Wow.
Bumbi's the cool, super smart one now.
Hell yeah. I couldn't be book smart to save my life. I don't I can't read or anything. I'm very visual.
Yeah, PhDs are not fun. They're yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun when you have like the young ones. The ones that just started college because they're like wild. And so they're kind of fun to be around because they keep your spirit up. I feel like I'm getting old. I'm only 26 and I feel like 70.
You know, I'm also, it must be a 26 thing because I'm also 26 and I feel like 70 as well. So I definitely feel you there.
26 as well. Oh my gosh. What a weird group. Love it. Rachel, what do you do?
I do industrial security for like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if we have security questions, we get to ask you about it, right?
I'm sorry I don't talk about my job very much, but it's it's not super glamorous. So.
That's all right.
All good. So basically, I guess it's my turn. Okay. All right. So basically, guys, I run my own business. I'm a graphic designer, as I said earlier in the intro, and I specialize in motorsport graphic design. And yeah, I run Tiana Creative. I run liveries.com.au, which is a new startup side hustle of Tiana Creative. So you can buy pre-made livery designs for your drift cars, your circuit cars, or anything like that. Yeah. And I'm also in the process of starting up Unlucky Ones apparel. So basically, Unlucky Ones sells like a whole bunch of drift enthusiast stuff. At the moment, I've just got sticker inventory, so don't check that out, but definitely check out Tiana Creative for sure. That is my main hustle, and I'm also in the process of expanding it into mural art. So I'm gonna try to get into physical art. Yeah, I feel as though like the digital realm sometimes is a little bit underappreciated and also underpaid. Simply because it is digital, and I feel like a lot of people these days can like hop onto like a logo maker and make their own logo, and like, you know what I mean? So I feel like in a way a lot of people don't feel as though that they need a graphic designer to assist them, although I feel like a lot of people would really strongly benefit from that. Yeah, so I'm just trying to like branch off into like the physical realm because I feel as though like it would make more of an impact, and I can kind of share a little bit more of like my inner self in my art.
I definitely get that. As far as graphic design out here in Colorado, like if you ever wanted to do that and take that further and be out in the States, Colorado is a booming industry for that. There's so much value in graphic design out here.
Yeah.
It's insane. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Especially
if you want to move.
Like Yeah, like even liveries. Like there's so many people that want liveries,
Yeah.
and they pay good money for it too.
Of course,
Yeah,
because like I mean, some
car.
yeah, like some liveries do take like I've done a livery and it's taken me like 14 hours before. So like
Jeez.
some liveries are like really detailed, and there's a lot that goes into it, because sometimes it's not just about like what I like as well. This is the thing about being a graphic designer. It's not about me, it's about the client coming to me and being like, hey, like I have a drift car and this is like the style that I want, but I want something that's going to stand out and that's like unique. And then like for me to like be able to like understand their brain and how it operates, and like look at everything that's going on around their surroundings too, like get to know them as a person, and like somehow create like art based on everything around that human. It's like it's like a hard job, you know what I mean? But it's a good job. It's rewarding. Like seeing something on my screen and then like seeing it in real life is great. Like I've been doing it for 3 years, and like I've worked with some like pretty cool cars, especially in Time Attack. So I don't know if Rachel's into Time Attack. Yeah. So like I've done World Time Attack cars like RP968. There's a winning Porsche.
That's
So I did that car and the Evo, the Tilton Evo, and I've done a couple of drift cars from that event too, because they actually hold like a side event during World Time Attack, which is called International Drift Cup. So they hold that as well, and sometimes Kiichi Tsuchiya and Naoki come as well. So we have a few internationals that come around, which is cool.
That is awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool to see your artwork like on a car going around the track.
It is. It's cool to see it on my own car too, because I just designed my own drift car and I was able to wrap my own car recently too. So I just finished that about a week ago. I haven't done a reveal. Guys, you're going to have to look at my YouTube for that. I have not done a reveal about it.
Like, is it anywhere? I was about to pull up, Instagram. I was like, I swear I just was on it like 30 minutes ago.
I did a massive time lapse. So basically from start to finish, you'll be able to see the whole process.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that'll be on my YouTube soon, but that was like a special moment for me because I've never been able to do it for my own self and my own car. So
that's so cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, and props to you, because creativity is something that it's not a lot of people have it.
I'll be honest, it's not all roses, because having creativity off tap for someone is like really hard. Like, say for instance, you're in a crappy mood, because like sometimes let's face it, like everybody in this world has like crappy days, and sometimes we have them more often than not. And if you are having a crappy week, say, and you have to be productive, like think about that. Like, how are you meant to create art when you're pissed off, like, or you're just stressed? Like, you're gonna be like, oh my god, whatever. Here's a freaking line on like a car, like, you know. So it does, like, you know, every job has, you know, their pros and cons, I guess. As long as you, for me, I always love to follow my passion. Like, I always prefer to like risk it. I'll always try the harder route before I do anything easy. Like, I won't even try the easy route. I'll always try the hard route first.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of like weird like that. But
how did you get into graphic designing?
From a young age. So it's funny. So when I was like really young, I was probably like 9. I was like introduced to like computers. Yeah. So I'm old again. Like I'm 26 now. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going on 27. Going on 27. No, 20. When we say going on 27, we really mean 72. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, when I was about like 9, I got introduced to computers, and I would basically spend a lot of my weekends just like on the computer, like just for fun. Like, my IT guy actually would rip software, because back then it was easy to rip software. Like, I shouldn't even be saying this, but it's easy to rip software, and you rip software and you give me the CD. And I was like young. I was like, hey, IT guy, can you like hook me up with like a Photoshop style like program, like where I can edit stuff? And he's like, sure, I have like this one. And I was like, sure. Like, I was like, I'll take like this one. And like my parents would like have him there because he was like fixing, I don't know, I think he was like fixing their business computer or something. So anyway, basically I would like install it. Now I don't even have a CD drive in my computer. That's how like things have changed. But anyway, yeah, I would put it in my computer and I would like mess around with it and then just like learn. And I used to learn how to code. Like back then there wasn't like 50 coding languages. It was only like HTML and like CSS. And that was like pretty much it. Like you wouldn't have to dabble in much else. So I would learn HTML on a website called pixo.com. I don't even know if you guys remember it. You probably won't. It was a very long time ago.
That was.
You remember Pixo?
Minute.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to like have my little Pixo site. And yeah, I just used to dabble a lot in that. And I used to love art growing up. And I always got told by my visual arts teacher in like high school, like, are you going to do art? I was like, no, like I love cars now. Like when I was 16, I was getting into cars. I was like, no, I'm going to get into cars. Like, and she's like, oh, but like you're so talented. You should get into like, there's something to do with art. And then anyway, left school and tried mechanical engineering. I realized I suck at math. And yeah, basically ended up going around the world doing a couple of other things and just working at a parts store for like 6-7 years while I was in school and then while I left school, and then just realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. And just risked it, tried a couple of really strange businesses to start with. I don't know even what they were. Like I started like jewelry businesses on Etsy, and like I tried another clothing store, and like I tried so much stuff. And then one day I just woke up, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try graphic design. I want to see what happens. And it wasn't specializing in motorsport. It wasn't. It was just like a graphic design, like business. And it just had no criteria. It was just like, hey, if you need graphic design, I'll do it. Like whatever it is, like, you know, I need some money and I don't really want to like work for someone else anymore. And then eventually, like I made $200 in the first month. It was shit. Sorry, should be sorry. It was crap. Sorry.
You're good. Safe space.
It was bad. Anyway, it was pretty horrible for the first 6 months, and then now it's paying definitely like pretty decent income. So I just eventually started to niche into my passion, which was motorsport. And I guess like if you follow your goals somehow, like if you have like a second passion, like you have your first passion, if you follow your first passion, somehow like your second passion will like mesh. I don't know. I always find that it's really strange. Like I never thought that like you could actually do livery designs or like mix your motorsport passion with art. Like I never put 2 and 2 together, and it just naturally happened because that is what I'm doing now. I'm doing cars, and then I was doing graphic design, and somehow the clientele just went, yep, perfect. Hey, could you design this? Hey, could you design that? And I just taught myself. I never studied it. I never did anything.
Wow.
I just
That is awesome.
That's
straight in.
Very inspiring too. That's great.
It is.
You just gotta follow what you really want to do, and if you really want to do it, sometimes you'll do a lot more research into it than actually sitting in a class. Because for me, like some people are really amazing. Like you probably, Bumbi, are like really amazing at sitting in a class. Like, but for me, I suck. I suck at sitting in a class. I like sit there and I'm just like, I can't watch this person for more than like a second. I'm just like,
I have no attention span, so
yeah, like I think I have an issue. I think
that's
I have
why
an issue.
we're into cars. I think that's something we all have in common. You know, Bumbi over there with her PhD. I think she's just smart enough to not have to pay attention in class. I'm sure. I'm just kidding. I'm sure, Bumbi. I'm sure you're an excellent student, but
I'm just doing it for cars. That is all I care about. It pays decent, so that I'm happy.
Yeah, I get
That's all I care about. That's awesome, though. That's a really cool story.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
that is.
And even like my dad always told me, he's like, if you follow your passion, the money will follow.
Exactly.
Always.
That's really cool.
Exactly. Like everybody growing up told me like you can't make money out of art. Like and I just feel like, hang on a second, like maybe you can. Because when I was little, like when you're when you're a 6-year-old or something, like you kind of have an idea of like, you know, what you sort of want to do. Like, you're like, yeah, I really want to do this. Like, even if it's far-fetched, like some people, you know, you can still try to follow your dream and follow your goal. Like, I don't even like to say dream. I like to say goal because, like, at the end of the day, you can pretty much achieve anything. I mean, we all have 24 hours in a day, and some people are more successful than others. So I think what's helped me the most, because I stopped relying on a lot of people for advice, especially like at one point because I was like living alone, etc. So I started listening to podcasts. Podcasts pretty much like helped me a lot. Like I'm not sponsored or anything to say this, guys, but yeah, like podcasts really did like help me build my business, especially in the early stages, because people might have been doing it for 25 years, what you want to do, and they can just give you like advice and just be like, hey, this is what we recommend you do. This is like, you know, you should set up a contract for your clients, or like, you know, you should have this process in place to make the graphic design situation more like streamlined. You know, it might not be exactly what you're doing, but like it might help you even like personally develop yourself, you know, emotionally as well. So there's like
Oh shit, we got cops.
Sorry, that was our 10-minute warning. Okay, go on. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah, so basically I just highly recommend checking out podcasts if you ever want to start anything yourself.
Yeah. Real quick, I did want to kind of ask you, because I don't think any of us are familiar. How many girls are in like the car community and the drift community out in Australia?
Well, actually, I'm sponsored by Women in Drifting, held by Australian Drift Club. Yeah, so basically I'm one of their ambassadors. So to be honest with you, there are quite a few girls, but it's still a rarity. I must say, it's still a rarity. In comparison to guys, I'd probably say like for every 30 guys, maybe there's like one girl that drifts. So it's still a massive gap in the market for women. Yeah, but it's still nice to see, like, you know, that they're still actively doing things in the community to get the girls together. So yeah, Women in Drifting hold events probably every like 1 or 2 months, and even though it's a wet pen event, it's still girls like that get together, and you know, there's no like hate or anything like that. It's just like everyone's there to kind of like have fun and just get the day on. And the last event, I was able to organize a chaser. Thank you to Formats. They are a workshop in Sydney, and they basically specialize in a whole bunch of different chasers and S15s as well. They have some crazy international cars in Japan as well. So Fausto Yukio is driving for Formula Drift, and he's in Japan and he's driving their S15 over there. So yeah, so I was able to organize a chaser of them, and it was a really, really cool experience. I've never driven a chaser before, and they threw me in the car and they're like, here you go, here's a car. At 6:30 a.m. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I want to go to this Women in Drifting event because like I need to be there anyway, so I want to drive. And then I was like, hey, do you have a car? And he's like, sure, come get this one. It's full liveried up and it's got like a full cage, and it's sounded so good. It was actually so good to drive. You'll see a YouTube video on that if you want to check out the YouTube platform that I'm on too.
What is your YouTube channel?
It's just Tiana Semrany. It's just my name. Yeah, so pretty easy to check out.
And Citizen Z wanted to know, I was told to ask you, and I hope I'm not supposed to read this verbatim, but I'm going to read it verbatim. What are those events called with those Datsuns or mini trucks with those big supercharger motors sticking out of the hood doing burnout drifts and stuff? What are those called?
You're probably talking about like summer nats. Oh god. Yeah, so Australia, summer nats, so like summer nats. Oh, I'm so sorry. So basically, Australians, if you don't know, guys, Australians are pretty burnout crazy. And they're pretty wild. Like Australians are pretty wild with muscle and all that. As much as I like to say that, you know, there is a tight, like really cool drift community here, I'd say that there's probably a bigger burnout one. Just so loose, like they're so reckless. Yeah, that's probably what he's talking about. I'll actually type it here so you guys can probably repeat it. There you go.
Nice.
Summer Nats. Okay.
Summer Nats, yeah. That's like an event that they hold, but it's just typically just like burnout competitions. Like you can have a look, but that is like the biggest one in Australia. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks anyway for this chat. Oh my gosh, it's been so good.
Yeah, it's really cool to get to talk to someone internationally, especially, you know, like you told us off air, that it's almost one or 13. I don't know if you go from military or normal. I don't know.
It's almost 1 o'clock.
Almost 1 o'clock on a Sunday, and you're joining us. So I appreciate that. I was wondering what you did for a living, because I was like, that's a color palette wall behind you, like a whole wall of every single color I'm sure possible. I thought that was cool. I was like, I wonder what that's for.
This is for like when I'm trying to look for like a specific color for a livery or something like that, and I need the Pantone color, so it just helps me get like the colors more accurate for the printer. That's all.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
And do you for your like products and stuff, so that way we can support you as well? Do you ship to the U.S. by chance?
Sure. Yeah, I can pretty much ship anywhere. All of the situation has eased up, so we have flexibility of shipping. It might be a little bit higher, so typically I always recommend purchasing something a little bit more, just so you make it a little bit more worth it. But yeah, I will ship to the US. There's nothing wrong with that. I've shipped a couple of packages over to a couple of people over there, so definitely no reason why I can't. Even in Canada, and ship over there too. No issue with that.
Nice. I just want to make sure, because that way, anyone who can watching this, I know like there's people that join and watch this later. That way they can kind of look at your site and kind of go, "Oh, you will ship to us? Sick." Maybe we can get a big group of us to buy something.
Yes. Of course, and eventually we'll be selling artwork. Yeah.
Which we'd love to see as well. Where is it mostly like automotive artwork, or like what kind of artwork do you do?
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing like automotive Japanese inspired artwork. So it's going to be like, I have this fascination with like samurai like girls. I don't know why.
They're hot.
So it's,
So
I'm basically just going to be like rolling with that kind of style and artwork, but there's going to be a whole different range of things that will be available soon. I'm just slowly working on this huge artwork in my garage and seeing how that goes first. And if that goes well, then we're going to kick on with some more. So that's something to look forward to in the future.
Awesome. I'm definitely excited to see that. It's so great having you on here and having the variety on here that we do get, because it is really cool. Really awesome.
Thank you so much. I love hearing about the US as well, like I always do. And I'm really super excited to one day visit soon. Again, for the 3rd time, because I've been there twice now, but I definitely want to do a drift trip. So there'll be one of those in the works coming soon as well.
Yeah.
You should do FD.
I'd love that. That was the plan. Actually, I'm not too sure if you guys have heard of Repair and Aaron. No, he's a workshop in Sacramento. Highly recommend him for any drift builds if you're in that area. So basically I've been chit-chatting with him on the side, and hopefully if things go all well here, I'm going to be basically working the way up the ranks here, and hopefully being over there doing Formula Drift, maybe like Pro Team. If we can lock that in.
Please.
There you go. Do it. Send it.
That would be awesome. That would be really cool.
Maybe one day I can beat you guys.
Let's do it. You should come to SEMA as well, like some of our big car shows. Like
that was my plan in 2017. I missed it though. I'm so upset about that. Yeah, but I'll check it out for sure.
Love it.
Awesome. Thanks guys so much. I super appreciate your time.
We appreciate you coming on this show. Awesome. Well, and thank you all viewers as well for taking a look at this. I know we've had some people popping off and on, but it's really awesome to see that there are people coming and checking us out and learning more about GT Girls.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, everybody have a lovely evening. Be safe. Don't have too much fun. I know the rest of us are going to be winding down for bed here soon, and then you're going to be going and enjoying a sunny day.
Yeah, we're going to go out right now. Awesome. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Everyone have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Good night.
You.